Hey guys, I'm Francis. I'm the president and founder of Synchronex Gaming. Today, I'd like to talk to you about the new releases that Razer has announced, including the new keyboard, the Deathstalker, and I'd like to talk about my thoughts on it. And if you'd like, I'd like to hear your thoughts. Post in the comments. I really want to hear your guys' opinion. Let's get started. So, Razer just announced their Deathstalker family, which is comprised of two keyboards, the Deathstalker and the Deathstalker Ultimate. Now, the only difference between the keyboards is that the Ultimate comes with the panel on the keyboard, the touchscreen panel with the buttons that we saw with the Razer Blade. Now, personally, I never thought that they'd ever really use it again after the Old Republic keyboard, because that game was, people liked it, but then they just stopped playing. So I thought, well, I don't think Razer's ever going to do that again, but it looks like they did. I could see how it's, kind of cool, but then again, there's a huge price difference. So the Ultimate actually costs, $250. That, I don't think that's including shipping or tax, depending on where you live. It's kind of dumb. It's $250 versus just the normal Deathstalker without the cool flashy touchpad thing for $80. So $80 versus $250. I think I'd rather go with the $80. But anyway, it comes with that. It has the 10-key rollover in gaming mode. It says actuate as many keys as you have fingers and have all of them register accurately and quickly in game. With the Razer Deathstalker Ultimate's anti-ghosting capabilities, which most of their keyboards have, you can deliver overwhelming destruction to your opponents and ensure that every command is registered and executed perfectly. Alright. So they're pretty much just buttons. That's all they're saying. See, they have Razer is pretty good at making simple things sound really cool. So it's like, 10 buttons that you can use. Yeah. Oh, okay. Razer, they've had their cloud thing, where it's like, if you have a Razer Lycosa mouse and you configure the pad on the side, the 12 buttons, and then you go to a friend's house and you use their gaming computer, right? Or even if your mouse just broke and you just got a new one, but you'd go and it would redo all the cloud settings that you had saved. So if I went to a friend's house and they had a Razer Blade, because I'd never ever used one of those, and that was all he had, and he said, "Hey man, you have to use this Razer Blade." Instead of blowing my head off, hey, Razer has their cloud thing. So I can just revert back to the settings I had at my house on my computer, which is not a Razer Blade. I think that's kind of cool. The only thing that I would ever really use the touchpad for is watching YouTube videos or Facebook or Gmail. I don't think I'd ever really use it for a game, because I don't know. I don't think I'd really be able to get used to it. I'd rather always have a hand on my mouse so I can, kind of steer my character if I'm playing an MMO, or aim and shoot if I'm doing Battlefield. And the other thing is, it's a WASD to move in most games, so you'd have to stop moving, reach over, and do that if you didn't want to take your hand off the mouse, or you'd have to actually just stop using your mouse altogether and use that touchpad. I don't know, it would be kind of weird, I think, especially with me having a Lycosa. If you had a Lycosa, you're using all your macros trying to pull as much DPS as you can in an MMO, and then all of a sudden you wanted to do something on the touchpad. I mean, you'd have to stop and try and move and do all your spells at the same time with your left hand while you used the buttons and the touchpad with your right hand. It just doesn't seem like a very efficient idea. But yeah, let's move on. I'm just going to run through the apps that they have on display. The browser on the screen, I mean, that's pretty cool. The trackpad is what they call it. Take intuitive control of your Razer blade with the highly sensitive multi-touch trackpad app. Pair this with the 10 fully customizable dynamic adaptive keys, and you have a plethora of commands right at your fingertips. Great. Macro recorder, that's whatever. A clock. Whoa! I have a clock. That's great. Twitter, whatever. Screenshot. That's cool, I guess. Print screen, maybe? That might work. Yeah, but let's move on. So Razer also announced their new line of headsets called their Kraken headsets. That's what they're called. The new line is the Kraken. I don't know why they called it the Kraken, but they did. So, with that said, let's get into what we know about the Kraken. According to Engadget, the Kraken has two different versions, kind of like the Deathstalker. It's got the normal version and the Pro version. The microphone is in the Pro version, so get the Pro version if you want to do music and gaming. The normal music ones are like $60. The Pro one is $80. It's ergonomic, like most of the things that Razer makes. According to Engadget, has not perfect noise isolation, but it's there, which I guess is better than nothing. The Kraken Pro has a 40mm audio driver, but the wired headphones will work with your devices like your phone or your computer with the normal 3.5mm jack. It's pretty cool. I'm not gonna lie. It looks cool, it looks stylish, it looks comfortable. Would I buy it? Yes, I would. And that's all we have on the Kraken. I am Francis. I'm the president and founder of Synchronex Gaming. Just so you guys don't forget, and I'm sure you won't, I know you won't, go on over to www.synchronexgaming.com. I'll throw a link in the description. Check out all of our custom computers. We have a good builds, so to speak. They're reliable, they're powerful, and they're made in the United States, which is good. Better than China. Anyway, check that out. Go to Facebook, like us, Synchronex. I will throw the links in the description. Just go on over there, head out, subscribe. I'd really like to hear what you guys think on these things, so comment about your opinion and see what other people think. Thank you. This is a video by Synchronex Gaming.